Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. I will have a short editorial for you today because I am covering 2 points very specifically. Point number 1, a lot of people ask whether are we headed for World War III. Let's try and talk about that. Point number 2 is how hypocrite can Trump be and Trump administration be? Let's discuss these 2 points. Let's get right into the show. Answering the first question. Think about it. Let's put it in a very simple term. You see, Russia and Ukraine were at war. Recently, Ukraine attacked Russian base. And that attack was said to be very, very effective. Russia is bound to react to Ukraine and react soon. So that is the status of Russia and Ukraine. Let's keep that aside. The Israeli-Palestine issue was continuing. Israel was bombing Gaza, bombing Palestine left, right and center. Left, right and center. When it started, there were 2 sides. A lot of people said, yes, what the Hamas did by kidnapping the Israelis, not fair. But then it just went on and on. Israel just went on bombing, mercilessly bombing, killing civilians in Palestine. We've done a whole series of editorial on that. Why, how, Palestine, when, everything. I'll attach that. Do have a look at it. But they have been bombing Palestine left, right and center mercilessly. Now, the focus has turned to Iran. Now, Israel has a reason to attack Iran. The reason being that Iran is supposedly supporting Hamas, supposedly funding Houthi, supposedly funding Hezbollah. So yes, there's a reason why Israel may want to attack Iran. But this reason was compounded with the American support and the American tacit push to Israel. The thing is that Americans and Israelis believe that Iran is in a process of making nuclear weapons. They want to shut down the Iranian nuclear program, or allegedly the Iranian nuclear program, because Iran has not confirmed any nuclear program that they are undertaken. Americans and Israelis believe that they are on their way to make nuclear bombs. And they want the program to be shut down because they feel that it is dangerous to the world. They feel that Iran making nuclear weapons is dangerous to the world. Let's keep that thought. So, the threat was from America. It is Trump who first threatened Iran, saying that you better sign the deal. If you don't sign the deal, then Israel will come after you, and we have equipped Israel with enough and more weapons, and believe us, he said in his style, that we make the most lethal weapons in the world. So we've equipped Israel with a lot of those weapons, and Israel is going to come after you. So it's in your interest that you sign a deal where you stop your nuclear program. This is what America says. Now, Israel, right after that threat from Trump, went and attacked Iran. Of course, Trump in a tweet said that we've got nothing to do with this Iran. While we do not agree to Iran, but we have got nothing to do with this threat, with this attack of Israel on Iran soil. We have got nothing to do with it. But that being said, if Iran reacts or Iran does anything to any of our assets, then believe me Iran had it. The usual Trump threat. Have you noticed that in the last whatever, 50 years, any country that has gone against United States, that has gone against the decisions that United States took for itself and for the globe, the policies of United States or the interest of United States, any country in the world that has stood against United States or questioned United States has been termed as a rogue country, has finally met their end. Be it Libya, that is Gaddafi's Libya, be it Syria, be it Saddam Hussein, be it Iraq, be it Afghanistan. Why? Be it Bangladesh. Even Sheikh Hasina had said that, the entire conspiracy against her was US based. Any country, any leader that questions United States meets a deadly end. Is that what is going to happen to Iran? And is that not dangerous for the world order? Where you have one superpower that is now almost guiding what? Almost giving direction to the world. And if it happens to Iran, you think it is good for India? Having a proxy government in Iran, a proxy government of United States, is it going to be good for India? Now, this is where it all stands. So at one end, like I told you, Russia, Ukraine. On the other hand, you had Israel, Palestine. Now it is Israel, Iran. And all these 3-4 places, America is trying to play peacemaker. Donald Trump, when he came to power, had promised that he will stop 2 wars. He created 3. Or at least now there are 3 wars. Whether he created or not is debatable. Okay, I grant that. But there are 3 wars. So this would involve Middle East. This would involve Asia and part of Europe, because Ukraine will have a lot of NATO support, assumingly. So a lot of Europe involved in this particular conflict. America is involved in every conflict. So now this is how the world looks. Now let us come to our part of the world. You see, India is in a very precarious position and in a very serious position. The new China-Pakistan alliance, China-Pakistan friendship may cause us a lot of problems. Because this confusion, the confusion that's happening around the globe, which is what I just told you, China could use this to their advantage. Paying Pakistan to create mischief on our borders. Pushing Bangladesh to create mischief on our northeastern borders. So China could use this to create a lot of problems for India. So now look at how the world looks. Almost every continent, almost every part of the world in some conflict or another. And with a leadership like Trump, who possibly today is the most powerful man in the world, he would rather profit out of all these conflicts than actually, honestly and sincerely try to put an end to it. So we can expect Trump to profit out of all this, which means that these conflicts may only aggravate. So the first point that I want to answer is that the chances of a World War III is quite possible. Though I don't want to sound doomsayer, but it sounds quite possible. It looks quite possible. And if things go the way they are, it definitely looks quite possible. Secondly, let me give you a couple of inputs that happened during the day. Macron had told the world that Trump had to leave his G7 and go back to Washington, D.C. because he's a peacemaker after all. That is what Macron said. Now, I don't know whether he meant it or whether he was talking about it sarcastically. I don't know. Of course, Donald Trump responded to it, which is what is the important factor. Donald Trump responded to it saying that publicity-seeking President Emmanuel Macron of France mistakenly said that I left G7 summit in Canada to go back to DC, that is Washington DC, to work on a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Wrong, he said. He has no idea why I am now on my way to Washington. But it certainly has nothing to do with a ceasefire. Much bigger than that, whether purposely or not. Emmanuel always gets it wrong. Stay tuned. Donald Trump has hinted at something very, very serious that could happen. A lot of experts says what he meant is something very, very serious that could happen between Israel and Iran, which means that something very, very serious could happen in terms of Israel attacking Iran. And that possibly could happen today or in a couple of days. This is what people perceive it to be. But that's what Trump said too. So, a lot of countries have started calling their people back home. A lot of countries have issued advisories asking their citizens to leave Tehran and come back home, including India. So that's the situation there, and that situation is getting very, very dangerous. Now, to talk about the thought I wanted to kind of end this editorial with. You see, while Israel and United States feel that Iran has a very potent nuclear program and they are bound to make nuclear weapons very soon. You see, something similar was told about Iraq also. President Bush of United States then had alleged the Saddam Hussein regime that Saddam Hussein was into chemical weapons and nuclear program, nuclear weapons. And that is why possibly Iraq was destroyed. Iraq was completely destroyed by America. And then what happened? Nothing. They didn't find a gram of nuclear weapon in Iraq. Now, I am not therefore saying that the same would happen with Iran. I am not saying that therefore Iran is not, in any form or way progressing or pursuing nuclear program. I am not saying all of that. But the point that I am trying to make is one, that end of the day, I would believe that it is a standard operating procedure. If you want to attack a country, blame that country of pursuing nuclear program. Number one. Number two, why is it that only Islamic countries are alleged of pursuing nuclear program? A lot of people say that even Israel is pursuing nuclear program. Why is nobody talking about Israel pursuing nuclear program? Why only Islamic countries? The last question I want to leave you with. Unless and until one is sure that nuclear program is used for peaceful purposes, to create power, to create electricity, to better human beings' life, I think any other use would be dangerous. No matter which country is pursuing that. And to believe that certain countries will cause destruction and certain countries will not, I think that is a very mediocre thinking. Because end of the day, a country is what its leader is. And God forbid, if a country which is currently a nuclear country and has voted for a bad leader, a eccentric leader, that country could create as much destruction as any other country in this world could. Think about what I am saying. React. Give me your point of view. Write down your comments below. I'll be eager to read them. Till I see you next time, that's tomorrow at 10. Namaskar.